Good morning, Wolfpack. Today is November 19th. I'm Tamaya.
And I'm Julia.
And this is Wolfpack News.
There will be a Thanksgiving fashion show today. Who will have the best winter wear, formal fashion, and swag and drip? Find out today. Dual credit, dual enrollment, registration is now open. Scan the QR code posted throughout Building C to register. The deadline to register is today. If you have any questions, please see Mrs. Horton in the CCHS library. Seniors, remember that you need a minimum of 15 volunteer hours to graduate. December 2nd, we'll have the Christmas parade in downtown Cleveland. There will be floats, marching bands, hot chocolate, and more. Last Saturday started Cleveland's 50 Nights of Lights. Go out and see what Cleveland downtown has to offer.
Good morning, y'all. How you doing? Mr. Barstead, AP at high school here. And I got some good news. Today is the day before Thanksgiving break. Thank God. We got 9 days of family bliss, dressing, cornbread, yam, potatoes, green beans, all that. Also, we got a Thanksgiving fashion show coming up. It starts at 2 o'clock. You can only attend if you didn't receive a write-up from November the 8th, I believe, until today, okay? We got 10 models. They're gonna model in 3 categories. We got 2 teachers gonna model. We got 2 surprises, really. It's gonna shock you guys. And also we got Squid Games doing a fashion show, okay? So please come, have fun, and I think you're going to enjoy yourself. We're gonna need volunteers for the Squid Games, okay? We're gonna play musical chairs. The winner gets money. We're gonna have races. We got 2 of the fastest kids to go here. They're going to race people from the audience. So if you think you can beat the fastest kids here in the school, please sign up. Please volunteer to race. If you win, you get money. Now we got a dance off during a fashion show. If you are the dancer or the best dancer, you will get money. Okay. Each, I think you can win up to $150 on Friday. Well, on today. Okay. So please come out and have fun, man. Also keep in mind these models, they're not really models. They're just students modeling clothes. So there can be no booing. There can't be no laughing. Don't embarrass them, okay? Because they're doing something that they might not be comfortable with, okay? So don't do anything to embarrass them, all right? If you are doing things like booing or laughing or snickering, that kind of stuff, you get pulled out and you go elsewhere, okay? Also, Thanksgiving. What does Thanksgiving mean to you? Okay, for me, I remember being, a little small kid, 5th grade, bald head with a beard, running home from school. I was 12 years old, running home from school. Walking inside my house and smelling the turkey cooking and the pork chops, catfish. Smelling all the food my mom was cooking. That made me feel good about the break. And while she was cooking, I would sit on the couch and play video games. We had Game Boy back then, and Nintendos. It's about family and friends, okay? So what does Thanksgiving mean to you? During the fashion show, we're gonna call some of you guys out the crowd, and you're gonna tell the audience what does Thanksgiving mean to you. Okay, so for me, it means food, family, and friends, and just giving thanks. Okay, just thankful to God that I'm still here, healthy, and all my friends and family they're healthy as well. So what does it mean to you? Lastly, let's have a good time. You're gonna be out of school for 9 days. Okay, don't do anything that you don't get in trouble. Okay, make sure that you'll stay away from drugs, any kind of activity that your mom want to approve of. No Snapchat beef, no Instagram beef, no Facebook beef. No what y'all be doing. So y'all just have a good time, man. Okay. With that being said, I have a good time today at 2 o'clock. And thank you for being great students.
Happy birthday to the following. November 15th, Shamaya Edwards, Christopher Brown, Jordan Turner. November 16th, Miracle Trotter. November 17th, Kennedy Collins. November 18th, Jabari Acom. November 20th, Austin Bernice. November 21st, LaCorius Branch, John Tifty Jen, Savannah Wilburn. November 22nd, Asia Johnson, Almitra Moore. November 23rd, Takesha Martin. November 24th, Mallory Horton, Chelsea Reed. November 26th, Charleston Walker. November 27th, Jacoby Marshall. November 28th, Chancellor Burge, Katoria Richardson, Tyler Williams. Happy birthday to the following teachers. November 16th, Mr. Marston. November 17th, Ms. Horton.
Hello Wolfpack, my name is Jabari
I'm Tamaya,
and this is This Week's Fashion. Today we will be giving our opinions on the Black Inks crew outfits. First we have Caesar. Caesar has on this nice black top that looks like a hoodie maybe, and he also has on these camouflage pants with the red shoes. I feel like he should have went with either a white or red shirt or camouflage shirt to bring out the shoes. What do you think, Tamaya?
Yeah, I feel you don't need the outfit not giving.
Next we have Young Bae. Young Bae has on this nice red top with these blue jean pants. I like her setting because it brings out the colors in her outfit. What about you?
Yeah, it's cute. I like how the planes fur at the end. It's a pretty outfit.
And I also like the way that they did her hair as well.
And the red, it complements her skin.
Lastly, we have Kristana. Kristana has on this beautiful butterfly outfit with this black skirt. I feel like she should have incorporated a belt to bring a little bit more flair to the outfit. What about you, Tamaya?
I don't like it. It's ugly. Like the shirt, She could have went with another shirt to go with the skirt. But her hair pretty though.
Yes, I love the way that they did her braids. I like how they braided the braid and made it look like a headpiece on her head. This outfit to me is a 6 out of 10. Hi, my name is Jabari.
And I'm Tamaya.
And that was This Week's Fashion.
Welcome to Worldwide News, where we cover recent events happening around the world. I'm Delane.
And I'm Derek.
Inflation fueled by new green policies will boost these stocks and sectors. The strategist says inflationary pressures arising from efforts by government and businesses. The risk of greenflation increases to energy prices and consumer costs triggered by global efforts to transition to green energy have been well documented.
Thousands of migrants are stranded at the border between Poland and Belarus in terrible conditions, most of whom are from the Middle East and Asia, who are hoping to travel on from Poland deep into Europe. The migrants who are stuck in the border area are battling freezing weather and lack food and medical attention, with reports of evil. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
Hey, who am I here with on today?
I'm Amanda.
I'm Valeria.
I'm Gabe. And I'm Ladarian.
Alright, so the question of the day is, what is your ideal dinner for Thanksgiving?
We have like ham and potato casserole type things.
Green beans, collard greens, stuff like that.
Macaroni and cheese and lima beans.
Pecan pie, everything. I want turkey, potato, green beans, string beans, all that.
Hey, who am I here with on today?
Natalia.
Rishi, Chris.
Kennedy.
Alright, so the question of the day is, what is your ideal dinner for Thanksgiving?
Well, for the main meal, I would probably have dressing, string beans, a roll, macaroni and cheese, and for dessert, probably pecan pie.
Yeah, so my idea would probably be some baked chicken with vegetables like carrots and peas and potatoes, and then, like Ty said, some macaroni and cheese.
In my opinion, everything.
I mean, for me, it'd be like turkey, green beans, cabbages, macaroni, and for dessert, I'll say pumpkin pie.
Hey, who am I here with on today?
Miss Vance.
Miss Brislin.
All right, so the question of the day is, what is your ideal Thanksgiving dinner?
Well, ideally, a Thanksgiving dinner where we don't have to clean up after it would be lovely, but my dad always does a deep fried turkey, which has to be on the list, and we have to have dressing. I'm not a big cranberry person, but all of the mashed potato, the rolls, any kind of carb, I'll take it. That's my ideal Thanksgiving dinner.
What about you, Miss Brislin?
Ooh, ideal Thanksgiving. I agree with you. When you do the cleanup is a minimal, but yeah, anything Grandma cooks will work. The turkey, the mashed potatoes, the sweet potatoes. Gotta have sweet potatoes.
Forgot about sweet potatoes.
With the marshmallows.
Marshmallows on top. Yes.
With the marshmallow on top. Yeah.
Pecan pie. Yep, that's one too.
Yeah, the pecan pie.
See, now y'all got me thinking.
All the fixings, all the trimmings.
That's it.
And none of the work.
I didn't even mention gravy.
Ooh, and the gravy.
Hey, who am I here with on today?
Mr. Williams.
Miss Holland.
All right, so the question of the day is, what is your ideal Thanksgiving dinner?
I think for me, it's going to be the same old, you know, the dressing, turkey, ham, mac and cheese. I don't care for too much anything else.
I'm not a big fan of Thanksgiving food, but I will eat the sides, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, and dessert. Lots of dessert.
Learning about something you'll never use again in your lives. So I'm gonna pass up this worksheet and then I'm gonna go take a nap because I don't really care. I'm just doing this for my paycheck. Excuse me, you're gonna need a late bus. Yeah, I think
These people are always late to school. Sometimes I wonder where they are.
all of you need to get late bus.
We're not late. Well, I was in our business anyway.
Y'all are always late. Y'all are always late.
Children, quiet. Quiet, children. I need to go take a nap, children. Quiet. Here's the worksheet. There. Now be quiet.
You didn't explain it. We didn't even learn.
That's not my job. I just have to hand it out for my paycheck.
That is our job. You're not going. What?
So it doesn't mean I have to actually teach. It just means I have to. I got a paycheck paid.
I'm gonna go because I
Oh no, the table. It's literally broken. She hit me in my head and pushed me over, and then the table fell on me.
We finna get in trouble.
Hey, bro, you alright? Hey, look, bro, you alright? Alright, bye. Y'all don't have to come back.
We're not gonna go to your parents. Y'all wanna go? We can go.
Yeah, go to ISS.
My name is Marquila. Welcome back to Fiction Fantasies. Today I want to talk about some Star Wars. I'm going to be talking about a Star Wars game which was made like 2011. It's called Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I'm going to be talking about the story of Galen Merrick, aka Starkiller, who is arguably one of the most powerful Jedi to ever exist in the Star Wars lore, even though he's not canon. This is going to be a long story about a few parts, so it's just going to be part one, like the beginning. So let's go. Galen Merrick was born to Kendo and Mally Merrick, who was two Jedi that survived Order 66, and they escaped and they started chilling on this Wookiee planet, called Kashyyyk. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, thank you. Mally was later killed by a group of slavers, which led to the Empire finding out about their hideout, and they later invaded the planet. During this invasion, a bunch of stormtroopers and a bunch of Wookiees are being killed. Darth Vader sneaks on the planet, and he's looking for Kendo so he can kill Kendo, since he's one of the few remaining Jedi in this game. And Vader finds and beats Kendo, but fails to instantly kill him because he's distracted by a boy by the name of Galen Merrick, who was strong enough with the force to pull his lightsaber out of his hand, which shocked Vader, which startled him for a bit. But he later finishes Kendo. But during this process, a stormtrooper commander tries to command a few stormtroopers to kill Galen, but Vader also slay them because he doesn't want anybody to know about Galen's existence, which is real shady. But seeing potential in Galen, Darth Vader takes him under his wing and trains him because he wants him to one day take down Palpatine with him, because there can only be 2 Sith Lords at once. So he's given the name Starkiller, and he is dubbed the Secret Apprentice by Darth Vader, and he trains over 20 years to finally help Vader take down Palpatine. That's pretty much it. Next week we'll move further into the story, but I just want to start with the beginning for now. Bye.
Now we on to Q&A with sports.
What's up, Wolfpack? I'm Q.
I'm Aiden.
And this is Wolfpack Sports. We back. The Wolves sadly took first round exit against Vicksburg as they lost 25-3. It was an amazing season. The first time we made the playoffs in 4 years. Proud of the guys. MVP goes to Miles Griffin, who led the team with touchdowns this season. Offense player of the year goes to Jay White, who was the first 1,000-yard rusher in CCHS history. Shout out to him. And then defense player of the year, who was a big standout, is Khalil Estrada. Now, what I'm doing now is all opinion based. In my opinion, after the best 12th graders were Rufus and Doug. Best 11th graders were Bo and Palmer. Best 10th graders were Root and Kivier. And then for 9th grade, the best were Jay Beeman and Trey Stokes. Shout out to them. The boys basketball team came from a 24-point deficit against Pontotoc as they won it. And then also this past Tuesday, both boys and girls beat Ruleville. Shout out to them. For their game, player of the game goes to Caleb Carter and Kaya Williams. Come out tonight as we play Bayou Academy tonight. The boys soccer also won against Strayhorn as Marcus put out a hat trick and scored 3 goals to help the boys win 6-0. And also the girls soccer won against Strayhorn as 1-0 as Riley Cooney scored the game-winning goal from half feet. But this year, boys soccer lost against Grenada 0-5, and then the girls lost 0-1 against Grenada. They gonna come back strong. They getting there. I got faith in them. They go have an amazing season. Bone lost their first game of the season by 200 pins. I mean, Bone gonna come back strong. It ain't just really nothing to be worried about. I mean, they got some good players, but they gonna come back and win.
For college sports, we have Alabama beat New Mexico 54-3. Georgia beat Tennessee 41-17. NFL Cowboys won 43-3 against the Falcons. The Washington football team beat the Buccaneers 29-19. The Steelers tied with the Lions 16-16.
Steelers fans. Oh, what? I thought y'all was gonna steamroll the mess out the Lions, but I guess I was wrong. Y'all supposed to be winning. Y'all tied with them. This the worst team. They 0-8. Well, they 0-1-8. But I mean, gotta talk trash about y'all. I've been focused on the Cowboys so much. What you think? Steelers fans, y'all on my chopping block. Y'all on the chopping block.
NBA, the Celtics beat the Bucks 122-113 in overtime. The Blazers beat the Rockets 104-92.
Odell Beckham is on the move and he has signed a 1-year deal with the Rams. Now the Rams are Super Bowl contenders. I mean, the Rams have a staggering offense and then a stingy defense, as they have Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Jalen Ramsey. They go get Cowboys a run for their money. But I'm Q.
I'm Aiden.
And this is Wolfpack Sports.
Hello and welcome back. Today we'll be discussing Beowulf. Now, there's this king, alright, Hrothgar. He had a splendid mead hall known as Heorot, It was a place of celebration and merriment. However, the joyous noise angers Grendel, which is an evil monster who lived in a nearby swamp. So for 12 years, the creature terrorizes Herod with nightly visits in which he carries off one of Hrothgar's warriors and devours them. After learning about these Danes' troubles, a young Beowulf, the prince of the Geats, arrives with a small band of retainers and offers to rid Herod of its monster. Hrothgar is astonished at this little-known hero's daring, but welcomes him. After an evening of feasting, much courtesy and some discourtesy, which at one point one of Hrothgar's men insults Beowulf, the king retires, leaving Beowulf in charge. During the night, Grendel comes in from the moors, rips open the heavy doors, and devours one of the sleeping Geats. He then grapples with Beowulf, who refuses to use a weapon for some reason. I mean, you're fighting a monster, come on. Beowulf grips one of Grendel's hands with such force that the monster finally wrenches himself free, only when his arm is torn off at the shoulder. Mortally wounded, he returns to his swamp and dies. Beowulf then displays the monster's arm and Herod for all to see. Now the next day, everyone's rejoicing, and a feast is thrown in Beowulf's honor. However, as the warriors sleep that night, Grendel's mother, who's another swamp monster, comes to avenge his death and kills one of Hrothgar's men. In the morning, Beowulf dives into her lake and searches for her, and she attacks him. They struggle in her dry cave at the bottom of it, and Beowulf strikes with a sword which breaks. Now then, he finds the sword in her cave and uses it to strike her down, but the sword actually disintegrates. It was one of those one-use type weapons. And interestingly enough, the sword is actually described as being made of Damascus steel, which, interestingly enough, is one of those things that we don't actually know how to make. So it was made in that time, we don't know how to make it. But the more we look into it, the few samples we have, the more we want to learn how to make it because we keep just discovering new things about it. Like the fact that it has carbon nanotubes. How did that even happen? Anyway, so he finally kills her with the sword, and in this cave he discovers Grendel's corpse. Then he cuts off the head and takes it back to the mead hall. The Danes rejoice once more. Hrothgar makes a farewell speech about the character of a true hero, and Beowulf, enriched with honors and princely gifts, returns home. Now 50 years later, Beowulf is king of the Geats. However, the tranquility ends when a fire-breathing dragon becomes enraged after a man steals from its treasure-filled lair. The creature begins ravaging Geatland, and the brave but aging Beowulf decides to engage it, despite knowing that he will likely die. The fight is long and terrible, a painful contrast to the battles of his youth. Painful, too, is the desertion of all his retainers except for his young kingsman, Wiglaf, who comes to his aid. They ultimately kill the venomous dragon, and Beowulf is mortally wounded from a bite in the neck. Before he dies, and as Wiglaf, his successor, Beowulf is cremated on the funeral pyre, and his remains are buried in a barrow by the sea. As his people mourn his death, they also express fear that without Beowulf, Geatland will be invaded by tribes. And if this starts to sound familiar, it's kind of the plot to The Hobbit. You have a monster getting his arm ripped off by a young hero, king, prince. After slaughter of his people, you have a thief sneaking into a dragon port, and interestingly enough, it's a cup that he steals. Now this wakes the dragon and angers it, and it starts to ravage the land, and then the king dies in the end. So, again, basically the plot of The Hobbit, because Tolkien was a hack. Alright, that's it for this week. See you next week. Bye.
Technology, take one, action.
Hello, and welcome back. Today we'll be discussing Beowulf. Now, there's this king, alright, Hrothgar. He had a splendid mead hall known as Heorot. It was a place of celebration and merriment. However, the joyous noise angers Grendel, which is an evil monster who lived in a nearby swamp. So for 12 years, the creature terrorizes Herod with nightly visits in which he carries off one of Hrothgar's warriors and devours them. After learning about these Danes' troubles, a young Beowulf, the prince of the Geats, arrives with a small band of retainers and offers to rid Herod of its monster. Hrothgar is astonished at this little-known hero's daring, but welcomes him. After an evening of feasting, much courtesy and some discourtesy, which at one point one of Hrothgar's men insults Beowulf, the king retires, leaving Beowulf in charge. During the night, Grendel comes in from the moors, rips open the heavy doors, and devours one of the sleeping Geats. He then grapples with Beowulf, who refuses to use a weapon for some reason. I mean, you're fighting a monster, come on. Beowulf grips one of Grendel's hands with such force that the monster finally wrenches himself free, only when his arm is torn off at the shoulder. Mortally wounded, he returns to his swamp and dies. Beowulf then displays the monster's arm and hair for all to see. Now the next day, everyone's rejoicing, and a feast is thrown in Beowulf's honor. However, as the warriors sleep that night, Grendel's mother, who's another swamp monster, comes to avenge her son's death and kills one of Hrothgar's men. In the morning, Beowulf dives into her lake and searches for her, and she attacks him. They struggle in her dry cave at the bottom of it, and Beowulf strikes with a sword which breaks. Now then, he finds the sword in her cave and uses it to strike her down, but the sword actually disintegrates. It was one of those one-use type weapons. And interestingly enough, the sword is actually described as being made of Damascus steel, which, interestingly enough, is one of those things that we don't actually know how to make. So it was made in that time, we don't know how to make it. But the more we look into it, there's a few samples we have, the more we want to learn how to make it because we keep just discovering new things about it. Like the fact that it has carbon nanotubes. How did that even happen? Anyway, so he finally kills her with the sword, and in this cave he discovers Grendel's corpse. Then he cuts off the head and takes it back to the mead hall. The Danes rejoice once more. Hrothgar makes a farewell speech about the character of a true hero, and Beowulf, enriched with honors and princely gifts, returns home. Now 50 years later, Beowulf is king of the Geats. However, the tranquility ends when a fire-breathing dragon becomes enraged after a man steals from its treasure-filled lair. The creature begins ravaging Geatland, and the brave but aging Beowulf decides to engage it, despite knowing that he will likely die. The fight is long and terrible, a painful contrast to the battles of his youth. Painful too is the desertion of all his retainers except for his youngest kinsman, Wiglaf, who comes to his aid. They ultimately kill the venomous dragon, and Beowulf is mortally wounded from a bite in the neck. Before he dies, and as Wiglaf his successor, Beowulf is cremated on a funeral pyre, and his remains are buried in a barrow by the sea. As his people mourn his death, they also express fear that without Beowulf, Geatland will be invaded by tribes. And if this starts to sound familiar, it's kind of the plot to The Hobbit. You have a monster getting his arm ripped off by a young hero king, prince. After slaughter of his people, you have a thief sneaking into a dragon's hoard, and interestingly enough, it's a cup that he steals. Now this wakes the dragon and angers it, and it starts to ravage the land, and then the king dies in the end. So, again, basically the plot of The Hobbit, because Tolkien was a hack. Alright, that's it for this week. See you next week. Bye.
Don't forget to like,
share,
and subscribe.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving break.